Alright, what's up, y'all? This is the Duval County Gamer, and this is my first movie review. And the movie I am reviewing is one of the animated DC animated films. You can find it on HBO Max, that's where I watched it. It is a Batman, one of the Batman animated series, to which there are quite a few, and I have watched a good number of them because I am a pretty big Batman fan. I think he's probably one of my I want to say probably one of my favorite like superheroes in the whole superhero genre. Out of all of them, I think he's just the most interesting because the guy is just a normal guy. He's just a normal guy. He's kind of on the darker side. He's a detective, and he knows how to really fight. And when he grapples from rooftops, it's pretty awesome. You know what I mean? He's a really cool character, and who fights like who just has like the coolest like cast around him, like the coolest like villains and stuff. I just think anything Batman is in is very interesting. Not all the shows may be good, but anything with him in it is interesting. So I try to keep a lookout for for Batman shows because I like watching it, and I stumbled across this because I was trying to. It's almost Halloween, so it's as I record this, so I'm looking for scary movies to watch, and this was like one of the first things that popped up. Batman: The Long Halloween. It is a two-part series where that follows. That follows pretty much Batman's early years. All right, kind of early years, and where it's not an origin story, but he's still like getting used to Gotham and everything. But before I get way into it, I love this movie. All right, I love this movie, and I thought Batman: The Long Halloween, and I just watched part two yesterday, and I'll do a review for that too as well after this. But I wanted to do part one first because I watched that a few nights ago, and I loved it. This show here is probably one of the best Batman Batman films, including the live action ones. I'm talking the animated Batman movies and the live action Batman movies. This is near the top. I was so surprised at how good this movie was. Okay, and this entire review is coming from a guy who has not read the comic books. From my understanding, this story, Batman: The Long Halloween, was a graphic novel written by Jeff Loeb, I believe. Batman: The Long Halloween. It is a 13-issue American comic book limited series written by Jeff Loeb with the art done by Tim Sale. Comic book series, all right? And I have not read it. I gotta be honest, I like comics, but I am not the biggest comic reader. I haven't read one in a long time. But after seeing this movie, I feel like I want to. So I'm definitely gonna be purchasing this here pretty soon because I would like to. I would just like to see how it is, because it was a pretty good movie. It's they have Jensen Ackles, I think. Sorry if I'm getting the name wrong. Who plays Batman? I thought. And by the way, this before I get any further too, this will not have spoilers. I'll do this video here won't have spoilers. What I'm going to do is kind of give it a basic review and give it like a rating, I guess, and just keep it at that. I'll make a separate video talking about the events in the story. And if you're interested in watching that, you can go ahead and watch that too, because I don't want, like, if somebody's listening, I don't want to spoil the movie for you. All right, I'm going to make a completely separate video because I don't want to accidentally like spoil anybody. So there's no spoilers in here. Make a separate video for that. But overall, like I said, I loved it. It was a very, very kind of dark in tone. It was it kind of had it was like a crime noir. Yeah, you ever hear of those? You know, the ones where there's a detective and it's a pretty much like a whodunit, the whole movie, where the detective's looking for clues. He goes from one spot to the next spot to the next spot, trying to figure out who's the culprit of doing this, what, and the other. It's kind of like that. All right. The basic premise of this story is Batman is on the hunt for a serial killer that has been terrorizing Gotham City, known as the Holiday Killer. All right, and the unique thing about this this lovely fellow is that whenever a holiday pops up, whether it be Christmas, Valentine's Day, New Year's Day, Easter, Halloween, whenever a holiday pops up, he kills somebody. All right, so Batman is on the case, essentially, and it's I really like the look of this animated. It's because it's an animated series. It has a very. It looks. You could tell that it's drawn, and that's a good thing for me because as much CGI as I have been, watching. In movies these days, it was nice to see something just like kind of simple, and the artwork looks really, really good. If any of y'all were ever a big fan of the Batman animated series, like from back in the day, I think like the 90s, that TV show, it's kind of like that, but a little more, it's hard to explain, just a little more advanced. It's pretty much the same like drawing style, in my opinion, so it looks very, very good. The voice actors for this movie do a terrific job, but I think Jensen Ackles, I think is his name, that plays Batman. I think he plays it's not Kevin Conroy. It's not the original actor, but he does a really good job, and in a very kind of a really calculating and dark Batman that's shows a lot of his detective side. This movie's really puts Batman's ability to solve crimes in the forefront, which is very interesting because if you think about it, they really haven't done that a lot in these other Batman movies, where they have him flying around in the cape and beating up people, but there's a little bit of detective work, but I just feel like the detective side of him figuring stuff out was not shown as much, and that's one of the reasons why I really like him. And in this movie, that is at the forefront. He's pretty much, but here's the thing though, it's at the forefront. It shows how smart he is. But this is kind of Batman's early years, where he's it's right after he can't have been, and I don't know this for sure, but I understand that this is his first years as Batman. He's not like just started, but he's been doing it a couple years, but he's still relatively new to it. He's still new. And what I like about this movie is he's not the world's greatest detective. He is struggling, in fact, to figure some of this stuff out, and it shows a more. It shows him like making mistakes, and it shows him getting things wrong in this investigation because he just doesn't have the experience. You know, he's maybe there's a part of him that didn't expect to be a detective. Maybe he was just thinking he was just gonna scare the criminals straight and take out any criminals and take them to jail. But maybe he doesn't realize that sometimes it requires real detective work to find these people because it can be anybody in this big old city of Gotham City, so it's really got to have some good critical thinking skills. And Batman makes mistakes in this movie, and like I said, I'm not gonna have any spoilers in this video. We'll talk about it in the next video, but here he's it's the rookie years of him getting better, so I thought that was very interesting. Harvey Dent plays a big role in this movie. Who helps Batman pretty much try to solve the case of the Holiday Killer. That's basic info, so I don't feel like that's a spoiler. Essentially, if y'all are watching this, like, y'all are Batman fans, so you know who Harvey Dent is, right? Y'all know that he becomes Two-Face at some point, and here he's just a lawyer, so we know it's coming. And I gotta tell you, out of all the movies, I feel like honest to goodness, y'all, I feel like I may like this depiction of Two-Face the best out of any of the movies. I thought the writing in this movie is so on point. Like it's a very slow burn. The scenes, it's really you know how slow burns are, where it's a lot of character development. That's what this they kind of push at the forefront is getting to know, like, molding these characters and giving us enough time as an audience to get to know them. Okay, this is where you have to try and invest. You got to convince the audience to invest in your characters. Okay, you gotta give them that incentive to want to care about your characters. And the writers here do a really good job with that, with all these characters in this movie. In my opinion, I feel all are very three-dimensional. There's layers to them. I really like how they have the depth where you see, like, Batman, you see Harvey Dent, you see Jim Gordon working, trying to solve the crime and doing their jobs of fighting crime, trying to figure out who did it and whatnot. But it also shows, like, how that affects them and affects their home life. Like, it's pretty like I said, it's kind of dark. It kind of gets into it's a slow burn, and it feels very real. How it's just wearing them down, and it's wearing down their loved ones too. And that is important in part 1 and part 2, of which I can't talk about right now, but in spoilers we will, and how important that really affects everything in this movie. So I thought that was very well done. The writing was very well done. The voice actors all did very well. Like the Joker was very well done too. The voice, I thought the story was very, very, very good. It was the beginning stages of this crime noir. Like I said, I'm trying not to give away too much. I'm not trying to give away, but essentially, it's a very slow burn crime noir. where they're trying to figure out who this holiday killer is, who only kills, and I don't think this is a. No, I'm not. I shouldn't. I shouldn't. Okay, yeah. He's just only kills on the holidays. I'm sorry. I don't know if I was going to spoil anything or not. I decided not to do it. So, but it is worth a watch. Worth a watch if you can't figure out what to watch on Halloween coming up here in a couple days. Maybe watch this because this was a great movie. It's a very old timey crime vibe feeling, slow burn, and it's really really good. So it ends. It really. I thought the standouts in this. Okay, so the standout characters in this part one here was definitely Batman. I thought I really liked the depth in which they showed him, going through the growing pains of being a beginning but brilliant detective. I thought Catwoman was very interesting in this role too. I really liked the chemistry between her and Batman. Batman and Catwoman have very good chemistry in this movie. That's all I'm going to say at this point. So I thought she was good. This guy right here, the Joker, I thought he was great too. Played a very crazy homicidal maniac type of guy, but it's still a cartoon, so he's still zany and whatnot. The movie feels very real. Like the death scenes. There's blood in this movie for a cartoon. When someone gets shot, you see them bleeding. So it is on the darker side, but it's still a cartoon. So Joker, when he's joking around, he's like in the animated series, So he's kind of goofy, but that's just his thing. That's just his thing. He's vicious in this movie too, though. But I thought he was great. Harvey Dent, like I said, was the voice actor. Josh Duhamel, I think his name is. Sorry if I get that wrong. Did an incredible job. This is my favorite story of how Harvey turns into Two-Face. I think it's very fascinating. He's a young lawyer like Batman, and he's trying to put away Carmine Falcone. He's a pretty big character in this two-parters movie here, who is essentially, it's the early years, so this is back when Gotham was being ran by the mobsters, like the crime families, the mafia, and whatnot. So, in the head of the strongest family is Carmine Falcone, as you all know. You all know who he is. He's been in the movies. He is in here, and I think this is one of my favorite Carmine Falcones I've seen ever myself, because they make him he's strong in this movie. Like you can see why he's been kind of the head of Gotham's underworld. He's been the head man of the head family that controls the crime in Gotham. And there's a reason why. You could see he's the guy's vicious. He's very calm. He's very steady, but and he's very calculating, and he's vicious. So he's a fascinating character in this too. But this movie's about, without giving away too much, just as Batman and these supervillains start to rise up, things start to change. So without giving away too much, it's he has a very interesting story where he's he's strong, but he's an old man, and he's reaching the end of his time ruling, possibly. So it's a very interesting. The writing's very well done with him too, so he's a standout. I don't even know if I want to reveal characters. A certain character that they interrogate is a standout too. I don't care. Calendar Man. When they talk to Calendar Man, he's a standout too. He's in this movie, So I'll give it, dude. I'll give it I really enjoyed this. I really did. But I'm gonna go ahead and give it like a 9 out of 10, because 10 being the best, because it really, when I say it really is one of the best Batman movies in general that I've seen in many years. I'm being serious. Like, I'm being serious. It's very well done, very realistic, very intriguing. So if you want to watch something for Halloween, or if you're a big Batman fan, I would recommend this. So that's my rating, 9 out of 10. I'm going to go ahead and stop it here, and I'm going to go ahead and record our spoiler section, where we will talk about what actually happened in this movie. So that's it, guys. I will catch you on the next one, and yeah, peace.